Good morning. Holy everything. Happy Wednesday. Look, the YouTube gods have smiled on us. We now are live on both Instagram and YouTube. Things are looking up. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. I'm your host, Marli Ansel, at Marli Ansel on the Instagrams. And this is the morning show where you come to get your daily dose of inspiration and level up into your highest being. It is all about real life, but we make it magical. So let's talk about the magic. Whew! All right. So today we're diving into on the days when you feel blah, what to do. I'm going to share with you guys what I do whenever I'm feeling just super blah, like, especially when I've got stuff to do. I'm going to share with you my theology. Is that the right word? Whatever. What I do when I'm feeling blah. Because we all go through these days, do we not? We all have these days where we're just like, I just can't. I cannot. I don't want to. I'm not going to. But we also, have entire lives that we live. We're parenting, we're running businesses, we have to go to our job, we've got to take care of things. So I'm going to give you my go to of how I handle these days. And then you can apply whatever feels really good for you. So, as you can probably guess, I'm feeling a little blah today. I don't know what is happening. I guess I kind of do. Okay, let's talk about it. Right now, we are in the middle of the eclipses, right? We're in the middle of the Libra lunar eclipse going into the Aries solar eclipse. So last night, I had this realization, well, remembrance more, and I've got to deep dive and look into it. On October 14th of 2023. So I want you to think about where you were in life on October 14th, 2023. That was when we had a Libra eclipse. There was a Libra eclipse on October 14th, 2023. That in itself, Amber said, I don't feel blah today, but definitely not a bubbly one. Yeah, you know what? Those days are real too. So in October 14th, 2023, there was a Libra eclipse. That Libra eclipse is directly correlated to this Libra eclipse that we just had. So this is kind of how eclipses work. It's like this 6-month portal of what you are moving through. So it's almost like practical astrologer over here. Okay. Not an expert. I just know what I know. The October 14th eclipse in Libra was like the opening to what it is that you were eclipsing out of your life. Okay. This past Libra eclipse was the closing of it. So the last 6 months, there was something in relation to your Libra energy, which again has to do with the other, the balance, the what are you holding on to that's keeping you out of balance? What do you need to let go of? What is out of balance in your life, keeping you out of your power? All of these things. So something opened up last October. For me, it's all on my south node. It's massive. We're not going to even go into it. It's all on my south node. So this past eclipse is like, it's done. Like portal closed. Portal opened in October. Portal closed on, what was it, Monday night? Portal closed on Monday. So in your chart, and again, you can download the Time Passages app. I love this app. It is just like, it gives you all the things that you need and put your information in there so that you can see your chart and you want to look at what house the Libra energy is for you. Mine is all about my subconscious. So in that, my other is me. It's my ego and my soul. You see that? The polarity energy that's happening inside my own being. So you want to look at where this Libra energy is for you because that portal just shut closed. We're done with it. There's no going back to it. See ya. Salutations. So long. So now we're in preparation for the rebirth with the April 8th solar eclipse. All of this stuff has been in the works. This is not like some surprise new thing. This has been happening. And on a global scale, this eclipse is huge. Like, I can't even go into it. I don't want to go into it because all I can focus on is me. Amen. Like, I can't focus on the world. So anyway, big energy. So I've been like feeling so much. And I'm just like, and I forget as much as I'm in this all the time, I will literally forget all of the cosmo craziness that's happening. And I'll have these moments where I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why do I feel like this? And then I'll remember. So last night slash this morning, Robert gets up to get ready for work, goes to work. I stayed in bed. And in that last, like, I think it was like 20 minutes, legitimately 20 minutes from the time that I woke up when he was leaving to the time that I got out of bed, I had the most chaotic dream. This happens sometimes. So dreams are an insight to your subconscious. I believe they're entirely metaphorical. Sometimes they can feel very real. But in this dream, I was in my home, but it was different. You know how dreams are. It's like it is, but it isn't, right? I was in my home, but it was different and it was entirely chaotic. Things pulled off of the wall, furniture moved. It was like it was getting ready to be painted, construction happening, like just total chaos. And I was like, what is happening in the dream? Like stressed out about it. And then I couldn't call anybody. Phones wouldn't work. It kept going to this weird screen. I tried to call my people, tried to call my best friend, tried to call my mom, tried to call my husband, couldn't call anybody. And I was like, oh my God. Total chaos to where, you wake up and legitimately, this was like the last 20 minutes of my sleep. I wake up and I just feel like I just went to war. I was exhausted. I was like, oh my, call my husband just to talk it out, right? So I was sitting and I was writing this down because if dreams are metaphorical for what is happening inside of us, then we need to write it down and kind of get the message, right? And so what I got out of that, my home was in chaos, my home under construction. Those of you who watched the morning show just a few days ago, or maybe it was last week, do you remember when we were talking about this? Your home, focus on your home. But we weren't talking about like the physical building you live in, your home, your being, what's happening inside. And anytime that there is a change in your life, something is eclipsed out, there is a shift in your internal self, there is going to be a bit of chaos. Always. Because I just want you to think about this. Any kind of change, think about especially change in preparation for a build. Think about when a house is built. Think about all of the chaos that has to happen before the house is even built. They're clearing the land, they're digging up the land, they've got construction equipment everywhere, piles of dirt, they've got things that got to go into the ground. It looks a hot mess. Total chaos from, an outsider's perspective. For a construction worker, it's probably very organized, but you see what I'm saying. Total chaos. It looks and feels chaotic before it comes together. Always, always, always. In any kind of transformation, in any kind of change. I have done this work long enough to see this process over and over and over and over again. Every single time that you make a big transition, a big shift, and by big, like the biggest shifts are the internal shifts. The biggest shifts you will ever experience are internal. The external is just a product of what you shift internally. So when you go through these shifts, you do this work, you're letting go of things that don't serve you anymore. You're shifting into a new level of being, a new identity, a new way. There's going to be chaos in between. So I think that my dream was communicating the reconstruction that's happening internally. But good God, I woke up exhausted. I was like, oh. So here we are. I'm fine, but I do feel a little bleh. Like it's raining, it's cold for the South. I know I can't really complain to everyone who lives in the North, but it's been warm and then the temperature has dropped. And so now it's cold and it's raining. And I'm just like, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. That is how I feel today. But I've got a client call, just one today, which is great. And then I have some really awesome projects that I'm going to work on, which leads me to what to do on your blah days. Now, hang on one second. The message we needed. Enjoy the journey. I have worked with so many women who have blah days, right? Because it's a totally normal human thing to happen. But I've worked with so many women who absolutely shame and make themselves wrong for the days that they don't feel productive, for the days that they don't feel happy and overexcited and wanting to get things done. They There is a label internally that says, if I don't do something productive for the day, then my worth starts to go down. Your days, especially as women, your days when your body says no are so important. These are such important days. When you go, especially if you're doing the work, like if you're doing the internal shifting work, I can't even begin to explain to you how much energy that takes. It like doing the internal shifts, the energy work, the mindset shifts, you are quite literally like rewiring an entire program. It takes so much energy internally to do that work. This is why like you feel exhausted after, having a huge breakthrough. You have this huge breakthrough, you feel this elation of energy, and then you're just like, because it takes so much energy to do those shifts, but they're worth it. So when you have your days where you're just like, done, I'm done. I don't, like, could be 1,000 different reasons. I might be hormonal. I might have just done a huge amount of energy shifting work. I might have been go, 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 go. And now I'm just complete. Whatever the reason is, it does not matter. You have to embrace the rest. You've got to embrace it. And there are days, and I know there's days when you feel this way and it seems as though rest is not an option. Right? We don't all have the luxury of like just laying on the couch all day and just being like, I'm going to bask in my restfulness. It's like we got shit to do. So on the days, I'm going to give you both. On the days when I have a lot to do, the way that I handle that is I do it all at my own pace in my own energy. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not going to give you that extra. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be terribly friendly. I'm not going to engage in a whole lot of conversation. I'm not going to be bubbly and outgoing, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to move and I'm going to get the things done that I need to get done at my own pace, my pace. And then I'm going to do it in my own energy. The beautiful thing about this is that when you don't require yourself to be more than what you currently feel or even want to be, you start to develop this relationship of deep trust with yourself. You develop this relationship of acceptance with yourself. It's like my worthiness is not reliant on if you think I'm excited and bubbly or not. My worth is not reliant on how you perceive myself. It's like you're letting go of everyone else out there and you're like, listen, I do a lot every day. As women, can we just take a moment and acknowledge that? Like, we do a lot every day and we still require more of ourselves. Like, that's a whole other talk, but you see what I'm saying? We do a lot. We check the boxes and more. And there are days where we just cannot. Like, I'm gonna do my stuff, but I cannot with anything else. We have to embrace that. And as you embrace it, one, and this is the coolest part, you're going to find that things work so much better when you don't require yourself to be or do something outside of what you actually want to be or do. Things actually work more smoothly because you're not bucking the current of the energy that is. The current of the energy that is always in support of you. But if you make it wrong and you say, no, 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 I have to be like this, I've got to be blah, 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 then you're bucking the current that's flowing you. It's trying to flow you to exactly where you need to be, to exactly what it is that your body is asking you for. So we have to go with that flow current. But then the second part of this is that you start to really tap into that grounded power. Because when you honor you and exactly where you are, that's power. Is it not? That's power. That is me tuning into me. I'm good with me. I'm okay with where I'm at. I'm okay with what I'm doing. I'm not making me wrong. If my less than excited demeanor upsets you, that's on you. That is not on me. Like, you start to develop this really powerful relationship with yourself. So, on the days when you've got a lot to do it in your own energy, do it at your own pace. Nothing else is required of you. Can we just say it? Nothing else is required of me. Nothing else is required of me except for me to just do me. Period. Like, period. That's it. So, if you don't have a lot to do, though, like if your time is your own in this moment in time, then follow your own flow. Follow your own flow. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not accustomed to following your own flow, it's going to be, you're going to have to like really pay attention to it because most of us, especially as women, are so trained to be productive, to do something in order to call the day good. There is such a stigma that we hold, mind you. I mean, I don't know if you guys have anybody in your life that's judging you, but I know for me, it's all in my own head because my husband requires nothing of me, like literally nothing. And he totally gets it on the days where I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't. I can't parent. I can't even talk right now. Like, I just can't. You know what I mean? Like, he gets it. I am the one who is saying I should be blah, blah, blah. I should do the dishes. I should, help the kids do whatever they're doing, right? I'm the one who's saying it. So if we can allow ourselves to just follow our own flow, and what I mean by that is just ask yourself, what a concept. Like have a little conversation with yourself of like, what would feel really good right now? Now, granted, these are the days where like your schedule is clear and you have the opportunity to do this. What would feel really good right now? And you're going to get an answer. Listen to the answer. Listen and just follow it. This is a beautiful time to do that experiment where you just like follow your energy for the day. Now, ideally, you're following your energy every day, even when you've got stuff to do. But on the days when you don't have anything to do is the perfect time to start experimenting with it, to start trying to build this muscle of following what it is that just feels good. Just feels good. Like you want to watch Netflix in the middle of the day at 1 o'clock, just try it out. Try it out, see what happens, right? And the other side of this is like, yeah, we need rest when we need rest, but sometimes spirit will communicate to you in the strangest ways. Like sometimes spirit will communicate to you through some TV show. So if you feel this pull to watch this one show, it just sounds like the best thing in the whole world. Follow that intuitive pull because sometimes you're going to get a message out of that show, which is the exact message that you needed today. Follow your intuition. So today I feel bleh, and I kind of have a have-see day. So I have the show today. I have a client call at 12:30, and then the rest of my day is wide open. So what I'm going to do is just be reclusive. I am not going to require myself to be outward in any way. I'm not going to require myself to be on social media. I'm not going to require myself to go and be social with the neighbors. I don't do that anyway, but they're lovely. I love them, but I'm not a neighbor social person. I'm going to work on the projects that have been lighting my whole heart, that are building this next level of where I'm taking all of the work that we do, my programs, my courses, all of the stuff. I'm going to work on those behind the scenes projects and I'm going to enjoy it and bask in it and not worry about anything. So we have to learn to allow ourselves to be in the energy we're in. Because when you resist and you fight and you try to get out of it, you keep yourself stuck in it. The way out is always through. We know this. Surrender into what energy you're in. Bask in it. Why do we make it wrong? This is really the question. Like, why do we make anything that we feel wrong? We're like, but I want to be excited. I want to be energetic and I want to be productive. Like, okay, cool. Like, that desire is amazing. Surrender to what you're in if you want to get there. 100%. Because it's in you. Your body's asking you for this. It's asking you for whatever it needs right now. It's your job to listen to it. Amen. Because if you just, it's like, okay, so a lot of the work I do with my clients is deeply transformative. Like we're shifting energetic beings from the inside out. A lot of times the work that I do with them will have them like for a few days after super tired. Cuz like I said, it takes a lot of energy to shift and rearrange our identity and move things out. Especially stuff that's been living in your body for probably decades, like belief systems, energetic blocks, emotions, all of that. We start moving that stuff out, like that's big work. So for the next few days, a lot of times they will just be like exhausted. Sometimes they go through a shed process, which could look like you get sick for a day or two, like the spiritual flu, like in the more extreme cases. Anyway, so they get tired. And they say to me, like, "I'm just so tired." And I'm like, "Take a nap. What do you mean? Like, get some more sleep, go to bed early." And there is such a thought in their head that that's not okay. That I'm not allowed to just take care of myself. I'm not allowed to just rest. But the thing is that if you allow yourself to have that rest for those couple of days, you will bounce back and recover even better because now we've shifted all the bleh out of you. Like you will move through it so quickly if you just allow the rest. But what most people do, and I've had to talk with them so much, is they deny it and they try to go about their same routine, not getting enough sleep, not resting. And what happens is that tiredness drags out even longer. And now they're going into 2 weeks of not feeling productive, not feeling energetic. When if they had just for the next 2 or 3 days, got a little more sleep, went to bed a little bit earlier, took it easy, take a nap if you need to take a nap, whatever it is, they would have moved through it in just a couple of days. Now they learn, right? Because my people are my people. And most of my clients that come into my world end up staying for years. So they learn, but we all do this. And I just want to call it out because as women, we do so much. And and I know we've talked about this on the show before, but it's worth saying again. Our bodies go through hormonal cycles like clockwork every month. We are not meant to be at a 10 all month long. It's impossible. Our hormones fluctuate so much that we do not have even the capability to be like we are literally two different humans when we're on our cycle into ovulation than when we are after ovulation going into the follicular or the luteal and going back into our cycle. Like we are two different humans twice a month. Okay? Y'all know this, but maybe you've never actually been taught the cycle. So when we have our period, by the third day of our period, our estrogen and progesterone start going up. We start getting energy. We start feeling like badasses. We start being like, I can take on the world. I can do anything. And it's that way for about 2 weeks. Then you get through ovulation. After ovulation's your peak, like you're glowing, you're magnetic, everyone loves you, everyone wants to be around you, like all of these things. And then after ovulation, your hormones were here at that 10 literally in a matter of one day go drop, like drop. And you are an entirely different human than you were the day before. Pay attention, track your cycle. You will see. And for the next 2 weeks, you're evening out at this lower hormone level. And then you're going to go into your cycle. You're going to start your period and it's going to start over again. Now, knowing this, we got to plan our life like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, Plan your outward energy activities as much as you can for that 2-week window when you are at a 10. Don't plan stuff when you don't want to be around people. There was this quote, it has stayed with me, obviously. I'm pretty sure I read it when I was like in my young 20s, maybe even high school. Like, that's how long this has been around. It was a fashion designer. And he said, it was just an article where he was interviewing. I was obsessed with fashion, fashion design, all of the things when I was growing up. Still love it, but very obsessed back then. This fashion designer said, everyone thinks I'm fabulous because I only go to the parties when I feel fabulous. Like, what a philosophy. What a way of life, right? And it stayed with me so much because it was like, why are we doing anything we don't want to do when we don't want to do it? Like, if I don't want to go to the party because I'm feeling blah, like, let's stay home. Let's put PJs on, get some snacks, and watch Netflix. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we making ourselves? And it's just this requirement that we have in our head of who we think we're supposed to be. But why not plan your life for the time periods when you feel amazing, go and interact with people. But if you don't, then don't plan things for that time period. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple. We complicate it, and we complicate it because we have this whole idea in our head of what other people are going to think, and we try to measure up to that all the time. The faster you can drop what you are concerned about with others' minds, the faster you're going to find your freedom, because we cannot live our life in accordance to what we think other people think. Number one, they're not thinking about you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, they're not. They're not. We have this idea because we are the center of our own universe. We have an idea that other people are judging and have opinions and are thinking about us all the time. People are worried about themselves. People are worried about themselves. They're not worried about you. And the only thing that they want to know when it comes to you is if you have something that's going to help them. Like, truly, truly. And somebody who is like a hater or talking smack or whatever, don't worry. They'll move on to someone else because that's what they do. They're not going to just lock onto you. So have a day. I'm going to have a day. Have a day. Have a day where you take care of you, follow your own energy, be blah, be the queen of blah, like own it. You know what I mean? Like, own it. Don't deny it. Don't try to get rid of it. Bask in it. If people ask, tell them, I'm having a blah day, so I'm going to blah out. Thank you. They'll be like, all right, cool. You'll probably give them permission to do it themselves. Magic, miracles. Also, because I know some of y'all got 18 kids. Tell your kids, like, granted, the little tiny ones don't totally understand. I tell my kids, though, they're old enough now to understand. I tell them, like, look, my energy's low. My patience is like non existent. So I'm going to need y'all to help me out. I tell them because I think it's really important, one, to communicate how you feel. That's like the number one rule in our house. Communicate how you feel. Don't lash out. Don't scream. Don't, be an asshole. Like, just communicate how you feel, what's happening for you in your body right now. So it gives my girls a representative of how to communicate how you feel, but also that it's okay, right? Because we've got to break this chain, break this cycle of women not feeling good enough unless they do a lot. We've got to break that. And that's passed down to our children because they see us sacrificing ourselves in the name of everything that has to be done. And so they're going to mimic it. It's got to break. You got to cut it somewhere. So you prioritizing you, taking care of you, doing your life in a way that works for you is going to pass down the coding to your children that they are allowed to do that as well. You feel me on that? So communicate, even if they are teeny tiny, even if they are 2 years old or whatever, still communicate it. Their subconscious is wide open. Even if they don't consciously understand, their subconscious is receiving it all. So when you do that, you just communicate. Like, I'm literally picturing like talking to a 2-year-old and you're like, Mommy is just really tired today. I think I'm just going to need a break. Just going to need to take a break, take it easy, take it slow. Like, just talk to them. I think we really underestimate how much kids understand. I think we really, really do. And that's always been a big, um, I don't know the word, a big thing for me to not assume that my kids don't understand. I don't ever assume that. I speak to them like I would speak to anybody else. And I know that they will ask questions for what they don't understand if they care. Sometimes kids don't care. They're like, on to the next. Like, all right, you don't feel good. See you, bye. You know? Especially my little preteens now. All right, my loves, thank you for being here live. If you haven't already, hit the likes and the subscribes and all of the things. If the show has resonated with you, please share the show with somebody who you know needs it. It helps us to grow our impact and grow the show. Tomorrow's Thursday. Friday, we're doing our live Q&A. So if you have a question that you want to deep dive into on the show, feel free to message me directly or email me at assistant@marliansel.com. You can bare your soul, you can be raw. All the questions are read anonymously, but I love some good juicy questions. So please send your questions in for our Friday Q&A. And then next week, I'm on vacation. So we will not have the morning show next week. It will be our first break we've ever taken, but I think it'll be great. And then we will resume. Blah. Resume the following Monday, and we will be in April. Like, what is life right now? We're already almost in April. Whatever. All right, my loves, I love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another episode of The Morning Show. Goodbye, my love.